Welcome to the latest edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Catie Sharp, and here are top items. A VCAT appeal has riled up a passionate group of Mount Eliza locals this week. Community group Save Reg's Wedge is protesting Ryman Healthcare's plan to build a retirement facility on the former estate of Sir Reg Ansett. The proposal, which is for 8 4-storey buildings, 3 3-storey buildings and nearly 300 apartments, was rejected by the council last year. The 8.9 hectare site, which was formerly the Melbourne Business School, is outside the urban growth boundary, on land intended as part of the Green Wedge, but within a special use zone. Save Reg's Wedge says the property is home to many native species and does not have the infrastructure to support high-density residential development. Over 100 people logged into the live stream on the first day of the VCAT hearing. RPPV interviewed some of the protesters in front of the site.
So I'm from a small community group called Save Sir Reg's Wedge. We are a group of local parents. Some of us are school teachers. We're very much locals, and we have grave concerns about the size of this development. We believe it's a massive overdevelopment for the site. We have very many environmental concerns. We have documented koala habitat here at this site. We also have, as you can hear in the background, lots of areas of feeding grounds for native birds of all descriptions. It's a very environmentally precious site. It's a wildlife corridor, and it also is situated, the proposed development, directly next door to Kanyang Primary School.
So when I look at the overlay, the current overlay would probably be 5 times the amount of infrastructure just on footprint, never mind vertical height, to the size and shape of what is currently on site as the old Monash Business School. I haven't got their plans and things like that. All I've got is their architect's drawings to work from, but you would have to put significant piling in. To do the underground car parking, you'd have to move a large amount of earth. To do that, you'd have to recompact it, reseat it. You'd be looking at rock bores to build the buildings on. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of noise, it's a lot of dust, and it's going to be continuous, and it's going to be a continuous disruption. You're going to have a large volume of people coming in to build the construction. You're going to have, I think they said something to the order of 460 car parking spaces. It's insufficient. The whole thing is just overblown.
After construction, which I guarantee you there won't be enough. The third is the size of the development. It's a city in a suburban area. It's literally a city, a high density city in a nice suburban area. Very family orientated, this area. Everyone that walks past you says hello when you're out walking the dog. Very friendly, very nice area, and I can just see this city turning it around. If you also look at the green wedge, we're looking at, Save Reg's Wedge. It's a green wedge.
I know our group, our president, we have actually got photographs by members, and also Save Wedge's group. We have got photographs, and we have got all documentation, and we have got documentation of the koalas, koala being killed in this area.
It's ridiculous. The environment is really going to be hurt. It is an absolute wildlife corridor. As I said just before, it sounds like Jurassic Park in there. The birds just screeching in the trees, there are so many of them, let alone they're the ones that we can see. Most Australian native animals are nocturnal. So if you come here at night, this place is alive.
We also wanted to say, as Save Sir Reg's Wedge, that there are so many more appropriate uses for this property. We have other historical properties around the peninsula that are being used by the public as public spaces, such as the Briars, such as the Coolart Homestead, such as the Ballon Park Homestead, and even properties up in the city, such as the Collingwood Children's Farm at the Old Convent, that have been developed appropriately so that the community can use these open spaces and enjoy the historic value of these properties. We'd like to call on Richard Wynne to pass the C270 Morn Amendment, which has been sitting on his desk for over a year, which states that in these important parcels of land that are green wedge zoned with a special use overlay be returned to the original green wedge zoning that sits on these properties. And if you look at the zoning maps that council can provide, you will see that this is a green wedge zoned land. It simply has a special use zoning overlay upon it, which needs to be removed. The current proposed development is seeking to exploit a loophole in that special use zoning, which requires that a place of worship be included in a religious-based aged care development. This is not a religious-based aged care development. It is not an aged care development per se. The majority of the construction in this development are high-end luxury apartments. They are retirement apartments. It is a retirement resort. Many of the apartments have 3 bedrooms. This is not a small aged care facility. So Save Sir Reg's Wedge and the Kanyang Primary School community do not support this development.
Meanwhile, the State Greens Party has added its opposition to AGL's plan to build a gas import jetty and pipeline at Crib Point. This week, Senators Rice and Thorpe moved that the Senate oppose the proposal, claiming it threatens the marine life of Western Port Bay, Ramsar-listed wetlands, Aboriginal heritage and local businesses. The motion was a success. This follows a large protest by members of the Western Port community on the steps of Parliament House a week ago. The State Planning Minister Richard Wynne is due to make a final decision by the end of March. Police are calling for witnesses to an accident between a cyclist and a car in Mornington last Sunday the 14th. At around 6:20 p.m, the 66-year-old cyclist was heading south on the Nepean Highway approaching Bungower Road near the Homemaker Centre. A collision then occurred with a car exiting the centre. Police have asked for witnesses and any dashcam footage that may have captured the incident. If you have any information, please contact Crime Stoppers. The next phase of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout begins this week. This group includes people aged 70 and over, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people aged 55 and over, younger adults with underlying medical conditions, and high-risk and critical workers such as the police and firefighters. You can make an appointment at a number of local sites administering the free inoculations. Just go to health.gov.au for a clinic near you. Our fire danger period has been cut short this year after a cool, wet summer. The period ended last Monday the 15th. However, it is still important that residents check local conditions are safe for any burn-off they are planning. And be sure to register your burn-off at firepermits.vic.gov.au. It was finals time for the Mornington Peninsula Cricket Association last week. We go to Neil Williams, the voice of RPPV Cricket, for the outcomes.
The MPCA cricket finals wrapped up last weekend with Sorrento playing Baden-Powell. Baden-Powell posted a rain-interrupted 125 against a very tight and tidy Sorrento attack. On the sunny Sunday, Sorrento were batting well, cruising along in their innings until Taylor Harrison sparked a revival, and then Sorrento lost 6 for 28. Lee Paholke steadied the ship. Sorrento got their 8 down, 5 overs to spare. That's 2 in a row now for Sorrento. In the other divisions on the weekend, Long Island inflicted the first defeat of the season on Pines in the Peninsula Division, so they will be promoted next year. And Rosebud had a strong win over Delacombe Park, their third time that they've defeated them this year. Carrum Downs won the sub-districts over a very strong Tyab side, and they will also get promoted. Neil Williams for RPP Sport.
And the Peninsula Music and Food Truck Festival is back for 2021. Held over the Easter weekend at the Briars, this is a family-friendly event with a lineup featuring some of the biggest legends of the Australian music scene, including Daryl Braithwaite, Kate Sobrano, the Black Sorrows, the Shantuzis, and the Peninsula's own Oscar Proy, Maxon, and Heidi Louise. John and Amy from the RPPFM Scrambled Eggs Breakfast Show will be hosting the event, so come down and say hello. Now we go to Patricia with the coming week's weather report.
Hello, I'm Patricia with your RPPV 7-day weather forecast. Today, Saturday the 20th of March, saw a partly cloudy day reaching a top of 23 and a low of 18. Sunday is expected to be slightly warmer than Saturday was, with a maximum of 24 and a low of 16. The wind will still be steering things up, and there is a chance of showers later in the day. Monday will definitely bring a shower or two, most likely in the evening, and those winds will finally start to ease. We are expecting a top temperature of 24 with a low of 15. Tuesday brings us another wet day when we could have up to 15 millimeters of rain. We are looking at a possible top temperature of 22 degrees and a low of 15. This will feel like La Nina weather, so pack up your umbrella because those showers are going to continue for the rest of the week. Wednesday will be slightly cooler with a maximum of 22 and a low 15, and Thursday will drop even further with a high of 20 and a low of 12. We'll round up the working week with a partly cloudy day on Friday, more possible showers, and a top temperature of 20 degrees and a low of 11. A bit of a meh week weather-wise, but at least it's not cold, and the rain will be good for the garden and for our water tanks. And that's all for this week. Until next time, please take good care.
And to our surfing guru, Muzz with the Surf Report.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. This is Muzz here again. Not a bad week of waves in front of us, although it isn't really going to get offshore until early next week, probably Monday morning and definitely Tuesday, looking this far off. Swell's going to pretty much hover in that sort of 4 to 5 foot range over on the beach breaks, which is probably going to be the best bet due to the fact that it looks like we've got a week of southeasterlies in front of us. It might be offshore or glassy in the mornings in the early part of the days, so you might get waves. Pretty much solid beaches, mid-size flinders and small western port this week. So, not a great week, but it's also not a one-star week. So enjoy, water's still warm, crowds have backed off a little bit, but Easter's coming, so enjoy that before the onslaught begins again.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.